Hi, welcome to Car Mechanical. In this video I'm going to go over a couple of methods I use for paint correction on my Mazda MX5. So when I got it, the paint wasn't in great condition. If we go over the boot, we can see these marks that are kind of in there. They're almost like oily prints and everything, and the paint was very rough to the touch. And as you go over it, we can see it's reflective, but the surface really isn't great. Not so many swirls in the boot, there's more in the bonnet, so we're going to go over those. But I'm going to go through two methods that you can use to polish things up. So the whole car got clay barred. So I'm using Meguiars clay bar and Meguiars quick detailer here, and I'm just going over it to get the contaminations out of the paint. So when it starts, it might be a little bit like this, and you want to turn the clay over itself till you get to a clear surface. But especially by the time you get here, you're picking up all the contaminants. You want to keep turning that clay over. So I've clayed the rear half of the boot there, and I'm going over this now with Meguiars Scratch X2. And I'm sort of going with circular or long kind of patterns, but basically I'm just giving it a quick polish by hand, and you can sort of see it's pulled out all of those marks, all of that contamination, and giving it a nice shine on that other half. But the first half still isn't great with all those marks, so I wanted to give you a 50-50 comparison here, and in a moment I'm going to go back and I'm going to do the other half of the boot as well. I'm really not sure what happened to this boot to make it look like this. It was as I bought the car, however quite happy with the result we're going to get in a minute. So I'm going to clay bar this half as well, so I'm going to pull the tape off, I'm going to clay that, and then I'm going to use the Scratch X there, and then we're going to go across to the front of the car. So the front of the car will have the bonnet clay barred, but we're going to use something else. So we're going to use Meguiars Ultimate Compound and a machine polisher, because the front's got some quite heavy swirl marks and I didn't fancy hand polishing the entire thing. So this is how the paint looks at the moment. It's quite full of swirl marks, there's a few deeper scratches as well, but what I really want to do is reduce quite the amount of swirls that we are seeing and give some better reflection to the paint. So I'm going to tape it off, and I'm going to section a few sections. That's just so we can have a bit of comparison. Also, taping it off helps give you some working areas, so it means that you're not concentrating on one area too much, or you're not trying to spread too much material over too much of the bonnet at any one time. So this is going to be using Meguiars Ultimate Compound, and it's using a machine polisher I borrowed from a friend, so I'll put the make and model on screen. And I'm just working it over a bit before it starts. I'm just going to work over this panel. Now, my speed of work reviewing this might be a little bit too quick. It meant basically I had to do a couple of passes. But basically I just worked all over the panel. And I can see a few spots here where I should have been working a little bit flatter. Now I have sped the footage up, but I just work over the entire of the bonnet. And I'm going for the second pass here. And you can see in the rear right, after I've wiped that off, you can already see that it's starting to shine a bit more. So just coming down to the front of the car, we're just working over here, and I needed to get some more Ultimate Compound onto the polisher. So I've just given it a good pass over everything, and we can see compared to the swirls on the left, there might still be a little bit left in there, but things are starting to improve. Take the tape off, and then we're going to give the bonnet a quick clean so we can get those tape marks off, and we're going to compare the left and right sides. So if we step back a bit, we can see there's quite a difference between the two sides. So we'll give it a clean up in a second, and then we'll move over to polish the other side of the bonnet. But it really does make quite a big difference. You can see the deeper scratches are still in there, but it's removing a lot of that haze and a lot of those surface level scratches. So I'm just giving it a quick clean up, because I need to go over and polish where the tape marks were, so I'm going to do that off camera. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do the left hand side. Now what I'm really trying to illustrate in this video is basically either with a kind of DAS Pro polisher like I'm using here that I borrowed from a friend, or doing it by hand with relatively inexpensive materials. So the clay is not very expensive, Scratch X2 is not very expensive, and Ultimate Compound is not very expensive. You might need to use elbow grease, or you might be able to borrow a machine. You can get quite good results, and I'd say apply the 80-20 rule here. So you're getting 80% of the results with 20% of the effort. Now you can go much further in detailing, and my technique probably leaves a lot to be desired. However, I'm really happy with the results I've seen here. So if you consider where we started with the car, with those horrible marks on the boot and the horrible swirl marks on the bonnet, just claying it and polishing it, we've got these really nice results from it. I'm really pleased with it. It's refreshed a 20-year-old car quite a bit. I hope this helps you if you're trying to figure out if you want to do this yourself. The results can be very positive. It won't fix deep scratches, it won't fix underlying paint issues, but it will improve things quite a bit. Okay guys, I hope this video has been useful for you. If you think it might be useful to other people, please share it to them. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe, and more than anything, thank you for watching.